Steve Harris from White Maiden and British Lion. You're listening to Andrew McCasebid from Scars and Guitars.
G'day everybody, welcome to the show. I'm not sure if I'm going to get the pronunciation of the stage name of the guest that you've tuned into here, but I'll give it a go. It looks like Kone to me, or is it Kone? Either way, the fella that you're about to hear from, he is the bloke who's only, when I say only recently, in the past 4 or 5 years, been appointed as the guitarist for the Finnish outfit Lordi. So the reason for the chat is due to a new album from the group. It is titled Limited Deadition. I call it Deadition throughout the chat, but now I'm rereading it, it's Deadition. So they've got a new video out, Hell Elizabeth. There's a bunch of other things going on for the band as well. So it was an opportunity to get to know Kone, no doubt, but also to understand Lordi's music. That's what I did throughout this chat here. So it was, they're a band, and if you're a fan of the band, step away for a moment, but for the rest of you, yeah, they're a band I've never paid much attention to. But I thought when the opportunity came up to have a chat with Kone that I better take it because there might not be another chance. And my takeaway from everything, all things considered, is that apart from Kone being a very thoughtful bloke who was willing to have a chat and to answer questions and to really go there, having listened to their music, yeah, they're a full-on rock and metal band, aren't they, at the end of the day? And if you're a fan of the band, you already know that. But for the rest of you, the people who tune into the show, get ready because this is a conversation with the guitarist from Lordi. I'll try it again. His name is Kone or Kone. Let's go.
Hello, sir.
G'day, how you going?
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you?
Yeah, good. You've been on the phone for quite a while, I understand, a few hours doing these.
Yeah, it's been okay. It's fun.
how the obvious question is, how do we in Australia, for you, how do we compare to the rest of the world? Are we more interesting or about the same?
Surprisingly the same. I think I've done most interviews I've done is people in the UK, and it's very similar.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought we are. I know we like to think we all like to think we're different from our Commonwealth compadres, but we're virtually the same in my experience.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. No, that's cool. Yeah. Well, look, we are here to talk about Limited Deadition, I understand, which is the band's 19th album, and there's a video that's been released to Hell Elizabeth. So where do you want to start? Do you want to talk about the video first, or did you want to dive into the album?
I'm good with everything.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've just watched the Hell Elizabeth video. Did you have a say at all in the cinematography and the way that came together?
No. Mr. Lordi is pretty much in charge, and he does have an incredible vision for visuals and videos and horror movies in general. And yeah, I'm very happy with the way the video came out. All I had to do was stand in a staircase and kind of play the guitar in a way that looks like I remember how to play the song.
Yeah, I hear. Yeah, was that? I understand the theme of the album, or one of the themes, one of many potentially, is 80s toy nostalgia. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. What inspired that? Was that something that you all think tanked and thought, great, this is an idea, not a concept, but it was something to wrap the theme of the album around, or was it something else?
Yeah, I think it wraps the album quite well. Like, it kind of packages it into being a loosely themed album. That's my point of view for it. Yeah, I think Mr. Lordi came up with focusing on the toys because the man himself basically is an 80s action figure, and you should see his collection of 80s action figures. So
my god, yeah. Yeah, I've got a friend down in Sydney who has it's been a while since I've caught up with him, but G.I. Joes from one wall of one of his rooms to another. Does that describe Mr. Lordi as well?
Yeah, and then add the rest of the walls to make a building.
Do you get you're a great guitarist, but do toys play a role in your life at all, or do you sort of see it a bit passé?
No, I love toys. Obviously, I think all musicians are somehow very childish at their hearts, and I love toys. And being in the band has been incredible because a lot of fans bring us gifts on tour, and like I never had the space or time or the money to collect toys, but now I got like all sorts of Iron Maiden figures and
Yeah,
things like that as gifts, and it's incredible. I love it.
yeah. What Iron Maiden figures have you got?
I got. I think one of my first gifts that I got was the Somewhere in Time a Funko Pop
Oh yeah,
figure. Yeah, yeah. And then on the last tour, on my bus bed, a Somewhere in Time rubber duck appeared, which was incredible.
oh wow.
And yeah, yeah, there's some other stuff too. A Live After Death figure, which is fucking beautiful. And
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Have you guys thought about doing a line of toys and merchandise in that line?
yes, yes. Obviously that's like that's not every aspiring musician's dream, but if you happen to be a Kiss fan like myself, and I
Yeah.
think everybody in the band, and especially Mr. Lordi is, that's like one of the first realizations of the dream is to, yeah, I want to be an action figure. And as I understand, it's incredibly expensive to make action figures for sale, but I don't know. I hope we can make it happen someday. That would be cool.
Yeah, yeah. Remember having a chat. I've had a few chats to Wednesday 13 from the Murder Dolls, and he's a massive GI Joe fan. So you guys should team
Yeah.
up for a tour and do some sort of GI Joe themed stage
Absolutely.
design.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I understand the other singles are Syntax, Terror, and Retropolis. Is that correct?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Do you when you're writing guitar lines? Because I assume that, and I'll ask the question: did you have a lot to do with the writing, the actual songwriting on the singles?
Some stuff. For Retropolis, I came up with the main riff.
Mhm.
I think the rest of the on the singles, the rest of the rhythm guitar stuff is all by Mr. Lordi, but there may be some influence from like arrangement wise in the guitar stuff from me. I
Because you
think
got
there's nothing I wrote except from the Retropolis riffs on those songs. Obviously, the
yeah.
guitar solos are all on me, but yeah.
Yeah, your playing reminds me. Like when I say reminds me, I feel like as though you understand the essence of Jake E. Lee. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, I've gravitated towards that. Maybe not by a choice. Actually, it's just I've kind of noticed that myself.
Okay, there
I
you go.
think I mean, yeah, Jakey Lee is wonderful, and that style of playing fits into Lordi incredibly well, and the sound and everything. So yeah, it's pretty much like accidental, a happy accident.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah. So when you just about the singles and just your guitar, I'll just focus on your writing for a sec. When you're coming up with a riff and you're in your bedroom or your man cave or whatever, and you're carving out all these riffs, and you've probably got a massive riff bank in which you can go in a vault, in other words, in which you can choose some riffs and write some songs. But does some riffs feel like as though they are more worthy of becoming contributions to songs that become singles and videos, in your opinion?
Yeah, ish, kinda. I'm very much a song first thinking person. When it comes to does this song belong to on an album or to be a single, and I'm very happy not be in the position to make those decisions for the band, but. When I write a bunch of riffs for Mr. Lordi to piece together the songs, I do have my favorites. And there was this one guitar riff I recorded for him when we did this album, and it did not end up in any song, and I was kind of bummed out for it. But when I heard the album in total, and I remember the one riff that I really wanted to have on the album, I realized that it would not have made any sense on the album. It would not have fit the whole thing at all. So yeah, I think the hardest part in writing is to kind of let go of your preferences, especially letting go of your own work. Like I wrote, if I write a guitar riff and it needs to be changed, I think especially guitarist, has that natural urge to not have anything changed, and letting go of that makes things easier.
Yeah, you're not
for
wrong.
everybody. Yeah.
Yeah. Prior to joining, were you more solo based, or did you do things as an individual contributor, or were you part of other bands?
A ton of other things. I was a professional musician, as a like background musician for artists, and pretty much everything you can think of. And then a lot of I had this COVID time project with my friends just before joining Lordi, and I was we were just trying to make some very complicated old school heavy metal kind of songs, and that was a really good luck for me, because that kind of kept me having my chops until I got the call from Mr. Lordi to join the band.
Yeah.
Because as your normal freelancer guitarist, you don't necessarily end up playing a lot of metal music.
No. And no, you're not wrong.
Yeah, you kind of have to focus on way different kinds of playing styles. So I've been very lucky to always have some sort of thing to kind of keep up my chops ish. I'm not saying I have any good chops, but the stuff that I can do.
No, you got good chops. Don't worry about that. You don't have to be modest. Yeah, I've listened to the album. You can definitely play. There's no question.
Thank you, sir.
No question. Yeah, I'm a guitarist and bassist, so no, I've got some authority on the topic. There you go.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Have you had to? I get what you're saying, and was it Monty Kone? No, that doesn't sound right. Who was the bloke who was playing guitar for Madonna, but he was a metal guy? I can't remember his name now, but there was. Even Taylor Swift's bass player and guitarist, they're metal guys as well. So it seems to be the most common thing, isn't it, that all of these top shelf session musos are actually metal musicians at heart.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. I think there is something about metal music that breeds musicians. Like being professionally trained and knowing a ton of people who ended up as incredible all-around musicians or jazz musicians. They all got some sort of a heavy metal background, which is fascinating, wonderful to see.
Yeah. Monty Pittman is the guitarist's name, and he'd play with Madonna one month and then Prong the next month. Incredible.
Okay, I love that. I love that. There was have you seen the movie The Hired Gun?
No, I haven't. I've heard about it though.
Yeah, it's a great documentary about freelance musicians, and there's this one guy. I'm bad with names, but he was, I think he was playing for Hannah Montana or something, and then ended up in Five Finger Death Punch.
Oh wow! Okay,
that is wonderful.
Look, as a musician, and you know this better than most, you got to do what pays the bills, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I would be happy to play for Hannah Montana or Five Finger Death Punch.
Well, I remember seeing Hilary Duff's guitarist end up in Goo Goo Dolls. There you go. So that's not that big a jump, but yeah, that does happen. Yeah. It's really weird. You see these videos from Good Morning America, they're beamed on YouTube and everything else these days. So we might not be in America, but you see these things, and I always take a note of the backing musicians because then I see them pop up in these other bands, whether it be metal bands or what have you. So there's a pool of musicians, and you've got to be in it to win it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What was your biggest misconception about Lordi before you joined that was then changed after you became a member of the band?
Yeah, so being a Finnish kid, and back in the early 2000s, I was still a kid, and obviously Lordi coming out before the Eurovision, they were already like widely known, especially in Finland, and obviously kids were at the same time terrified and very much into Lordi, and we obviously all thought that they are actual monsters, and I think that I'm very happy to have that being cleared out and knowing how it works. But yeah, it's there's really not been anything surprising. Like
the offstage antics don't seem quite as circus like as what they were with the band Gwar, who you can probably understand there's been comparisons to.
Yeah, of course. The offstage antics of middle-aged ish men are it does involve a lot of grunting.
yeah, long hot showers.
yeah, exactly.
Long hot showers and peppermint teas. That's what I can imagine after stage looks after show.
Pretty much,
yeah. You guys, yeah.
Pretty much.
It's very different nowadays, isn't it? There's still this bizarre perception, which I don't know. It hasn't been like this for decades, but that rockers go on the road and drink themselves stupid and take drugs and stuff. And I think we can all thank Ozzy Osbourne and Motley Crue for those misconceptions, because Iron Maiden never did it, and you guys probably never did it either. I mean, it's really hard being on the road, isn't it, and keeping yourself fit and healthy.
Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously, it's okay to have fun on the road and like enjoy your time and enjoy the usually free refreshments, but the view that people outside of a touring infrastructure see is that would not work. Like to be absolutely hammered and drugged out of your mind on tour, that doesn't work at all. Especially not with the finances these days. Like you even a much bigger band than we are cannot afford fucking up.
Yes. Yeah, that was, that's why Kerry King pulled Jeff Hanneman out of the band.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because everybody's got their phones up these days, and by about 2008, when the iPhone started to come in, he must have seen that and noticed that you can't have your band end up on YouTube for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. How does that aspect of performance, given you are the lead guitarist and have the heroic role in that way, how do you manage that expectation?
I am in a very happy place to be in a band where every single character in the band is a character. I know for a fact that I'm not the most anticipated character on the stage, which is it takes a huge amount of pressure off of my back, and it's a very special kind of group because I think actually everybody feels the same way. Nobody is carrying the main attraction cape. Obviously, Mr. Lordi is the main attraction, but he's got such a wonderful group of weird characters around him. So the pressure of everything regarding that is very much shared. That's my view on it. And what comes to the guitar standpoint is different. But I'm just there to have a good time, and I do my best, and I know that I will fuck up, and I've been having hard time with fucking up, but there are always reasons to fuck up. I'm playing on with a costume that's like it's squeezing my hands and everything, and I have limited vision, and I always have an excuse for fuck ups, which actually ends up being a good thing mentally, because I can always sort of help that to get myself over fucking something up. Because I used to have a lot of pressure about missing a note. On a Lordi show, and
I imagine. Yeah. How did you go about preparing for the tours then? Did you put on the suit at home or in a rehearsal room and just wear it for hours and just get used to it?
When I started in the band, there was a lot of practicing with the, especially with the mask on. And you kind of got used to it, and now I'm just trying to kind of practice and keep my chops up, and like the biggest part is to know the songs by heart, so that on tour I don't have to think about the songs themselves at all, because that can get very exhausting if there's one or two songs that need to be kind of reminded, like relearned every day. That gets super annoying to me personally, and on tour, I got a little headphone amp, and I warm up. I try to warm up before every show, and I usually manage to do that. And that, I don't know if it helps my playing, but it helps my confidence and kind of like the mental side of the whole shebang.
Yeah, the psychological aspect of it's huge, isn't it? Once you feel prepared, you are prepared.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do you think there's... I'll couch my question first by saying there's a lot of great Finnish bands around at the moment. I've gotten to know Kimmo Kusniemi from Sarcophagus, I think, quite well, but I just know him as Kimmo. I've interviewed him a few times and talked about his movies and his filmography, and he does music videos for bands. But I've also had a bunch of conversations with the guys in Korpiklani and Nightwish as well. So Finland's got it going on. It's quite a heavy metal hotspot. That's just the more prominent bands, but there's a ton of bands in the subterranean aspects, so underground metal bands, death metal bands, black metal bands, this sort of thing. But Finland is the only other country where, like Germany and Finland are the only two countries I can nominate where heavy metal just seems to be completely normal for people to listen to it. Is that your take on things? Like, do you feel as though Finland just has a heavy metal culture?
Yeah, ish. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we do have a ton of great metal bands and popular metal bands, and like, I think that obviously 10, 15 years ago and 20 years ago, when you were walking down the street in Finland, you would always see your basic Finnish metal heads. But that is rarer these days, I think. But it's not completely gone, and I love that. And we got fantastic roots with great bands, and being in Finnish social media is like kind of trying to see what's happening in the Finnish underground scene. It does seem like new bands are still popping up like every day, and there are people doing their thing, and I love that. I think it's a lot of it is due to the kind of like the atmosphere and the weather conditions in Finland. It's cold and dark and grim, and most of the time the weather sucks, and that makes you really there's a lot of hate needed for making very angry music.
Yeah. Is Finland? Look, I was, my mate Jamie, who was in Dimmu Borgir, so Astanu was his stage name, and there told me Finland was one of his favourite places to go touring when he was in Scandinavia and across those massive European tours those black metal bands used to do. And he said, and some of the stories he shared with me, it was quite debaucherous and very full on. And so Was that your experience growing up as well, that people would just drink and just really get into the party atmosphere around heavy metal?
Um, I don't know. I don't know if you can, because I don't have a comparison. And when I was growing up, I went through my getting into metal phase very early on, and there was no real partying involved back then. And um then I sort of, like, my time going through my party phases and my different metal phases were very much later than a lot of than when all the legends were born. So I can't actually tell. But there is a very certain kind of drinking culture in general in Finland, which is not the healthiest kind.
Is that just to do with the weather? Do you think, just being inside all the time?
It's the weather. It's some sort of a mentality thing, and I think a lot of it is caused by politics. But I won't go there.
Oh, really? Okay, there you go. It's the first time I've
Yeah,
heard that answer actually about that. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, alcohol is it's a blessing until it's a curse, unfortunately, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. What's your favorite Lordi song to play?
That's a tough question. I think last summer we finally ended up playing Scare Force One, which I was always trying to have the band to play, and that was super nice to me. And but I got a feeling that the new album has got a song Elizabeth, which is the video song.
Yeah.
For some reason, that song has made a huge impact on me. Like, that is my all-time favorite Lordi song.
Okay.
I love that song. There's something magical about it, and I do feel very good about playing that live. But I don't know if that's going to be like a playing favorite, because I usually love playing the heavier stuff because you get to chug around and do something fast, and there's not really anything like that going on in the song. So I'll have to see how I feel about playing it live.
Yeah. Are there any songs you'd rather not play from the set list?
Yeah, not really. The song "Hug You Hardcore" is something that we often play on festivals, and it's an annoying song to play. Like,
Yeah.
The guitar riff kind of demands it to be downpicked, and it's like just above the comfortable tempo for downpicking.
Okay.
So it's annoying.
Yeah.
I would rather not play that, but yeah. But
Yeah.
that's the yeah.
Yeah, fair
Yeah,
enough.
a lot of the things are always about tempo to me.
You sound like a bass player. There you go. That's because I'm a bassist, so tempo is important for me. Yeah. Is that
Yeah, that
have you played a lot of bass?
not really, actually. No.
That's a really interesting comment. There's a lot of insight in that one there. Do you know how that psychology around your understanding of tempo, do you know how that developed?
No clue.
Wow. Okay. Do you like jazz and funk as well? That sort of music?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was professionally trained, and back then I should have learned my jazz stuff, and I didn't because I was focusing on Zach Wild licks. So I've been really trying to catch up on my jazz knowledge and stuff lately.
Yeah, it's really I have had issues as a bassist playing with guitarists whose rhythm is constantly out, and
Yeah,
these are guys who can solo really well, but their rhythm, they're either you understand this as a musician, you're either in front of the beat, on the beat, or behind the
yeah,
beat, and
yeah,
these
exactly.
musicians are in all three places sometimes at the same time, and I can't figure out where to go.
Yeah, exactly.
I play with my fingers, which gives it a very round sound, not the sharp attack that a plectrum does. And I say to them, it's very hard. So sometimes I just tune out and just get on with it.
Yeah,
You just got to do it.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What's Is the type of guitar you play at this point, is it important, or are you bringing different ones on tour?
Um, it's I've always had this mentality of not getting fixated to a type of guitar. That's why um, I love all sorts of I love all sorts of guitars, which means both Les Pauls and Strats. But for the Lordi Arsenal, I've got two Super Strats and two LTD Eclipses, which I think we can agree are pretty much Les Pauls, a Les Paul kind of guitars. For me, the biggest thing is if it has a Floyd Rose or not, and I love playing with the Floyd Rose, and I was actually asked by Mr. Lordi to have a Floyd Rose guitar, because obviously that's an '80s vibe thing, and you get to do a lot of dive bombs and shit like that.
Yeah.
But then there's songs like I've grown accustomed to playing the song Blood Red Sandman in a drop C tuning on a Les Paul kind of guitar, and that just works.
Wow.
And sometimes getting rid of the Floyd Rose thing and just having a hardtail it's very refreshing.
Yeah. How do you find the tuning on the Floyd Roses? You've probably got it down to an art these days, but are there nights where it just doesn't stay in tune?
It's not really been a problem to me. Obviously, there's especially festivals which happen outdoors always have tuning issues, regardless of Floyd Rose or not. But I haven't had any proper issues. Like there's always stuff where something happens, and on one flight a guitar case was banged so hard that the anchoring nut for the Floyd Rose was slammed inside the body.
Oh wow.
And I only found out about it at the gig, getting the guitar to my hands and seeing that, okay, this is unplayable. Well, that's fun.
Wow.
Yeah.
What did you do in that situation? Because that was obviously a guitar that was tuned specifically for a song.
Well, I travel with 4 guitars, so that was not an issue.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah. There's 2 tunings. There's E standard and D standard, and then there's a spare for both of them. And the D spare is also used for drop C, so that's kind of simple. That's as simple as I want to make it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, you guys tune half a step down, don't you?
No, it's E and D.
Oh shit! All right, okay, so it's not too bad then. Is it? The standard gauge strings? Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, look, I think this is your last interview, so I'll leave you with the last statement or what have you. I won't ask a question. Is there anything you wanted to share with people, or any other topics you wanted to discuss?
I'm good. I hope all you listeners will get home safely, and if you drink, you don't drive.
They're all very smart people, my listeners, because they're listening to us. So there you go.
Yes. Incredible.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, thank you, man. This was a pleasure.
Oh, thanks, man. No, I really appreciate it. Yeah, hopefully you come down here pretty soon as well.
Yes, me too.
Yeah. All right. See you out on the road. Good luck with everything.
Thank you, sir. Have a good night.
You too, mate. No worries. Catch up.
All right. Bye.
Well, there you go. A conversation with the guitarist from Lordi. I'm just going to call him Kone. And I've always noticed something. When I say always, I now notice something about all of the Finns that I've spoken to for the show, but they're very congenial. That's to a person. So the great nation of Finland represent. All right, that's it from me. That's it for another installment of the show. My name is Andrew Mackay Smith, and I'm the host of Scars and Guitars. Until the next one, it's a goodbye for now.